How are you? Well, hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing well in yourself.
Good, girl. Okay, so let's get some context. I want to clear this up, okay? I'm not hanging with Ralph, okay? I didn't call him and ask him to come to dinner tonight. This is not tit for tat.
Disclaimer, I had no idea Porsha was going to be arriving. At all.
It's very important to always have a witness, because what I'm not gonna do is be the person that Ralph went off with when he disappeared. I'm not that girl. No, ma'am. And I know how this group is.
I'm just hungry.
Welcome to Talk That Talk, Reality with Realness. I'm your host, Kelli Kells.
And it's your boy, Chase.
And y'all already know we're back again this week with another recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. We on episode 10 now, right, friend?
It's number 10, child. Look at number 10.
All right. So, friends, let's go ahead and get into it. But while y'all are here, how about y'all just go ahead and hit that like button for us. Help us out in the algorithm. And then let's go ahead and get started with the show. So we're opening up this week with the clip of the week, which was Porsha, Shamea, and Ralph's sit down at dinner. Friend, you already shaking your head, so I know you got something to say, because it was messy.
Shamea.
Girl, stop!
Girl, if you didn't live up to your lapdog name in any other scene.
She's barking. She's your lap dog.
She's not my lap dog. I don't have a lap dog.
She's your lap dog.
Listen,
You got the award in that one, and it didn't pan out how you thought it would.
I was floored. I'm like, Shamea is being this messy. Like, all the things that people are saying online, like birds of a feather, maybe she's more like Porsha than we thought. Like, is that actually true?
Exactly. You know what, friend? First of all, for the premises of this meetup to be a business situation about a podcast talk, I was like, child, is this the best y'all could come up with? And then the podcast, he's talking about Family Feud. Family Feud, like, come on now, let's survey about 100 people, and the answer is what they say. The survey says, y'all look foolish. Y'all look foolish. Exactly. They looked so foolish. And then for Porsha to just show up out the blue, like we don't know it was planned. And then for her to try to explain her way out, like, well, I'm just making it known that I ain't hanging out with Ralph and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl.
Like, no, her reason for having Porsha there made no sense, because nobody's thinking that you have anything going on with Ralph or that you're going to run off with Ralph.
Exactly.
Secondly, if you actually felt that you did need someone there so it didn't look weird, why Porsha of all
Porsha?
people? You could have called any one of the other girls to link up if that was the case. And Shamea don't even got a podcast of her own for her to be the guy, the person to go to about a podcast.
Okay.
So what sense did that make?
Use a brain. Oh, oops, she might not have one.
Back to that old one that they keep showing back in, what was that, 2022? Like, child, nobody saw that.
But if you look at the bottom on the screen when they showed it, it said it was like the Real Husbands of Atlanta or something to that extent. So it wasn't like it was Shamea's podcast.
Right.
It was Ralph's podcast with other men, and she probably was just a guest that day. So how you going to the guest of the day for advice on how to run a podcast that you're already on? Make it make sense.
Now, Porsha brought up the issue with Drew. The thing came up about the kid. Do you remember when that conversation happened? Remember, I told you, I was like, Drew, you should have never even said that, because whether you meant it bad or good, that they're going to spin that and run with it. So for me, Drew getting her ass handed to her about that situation, I think is warranted. Drew should have never opened her mouth and said anything about any kid, what she doing, what she should have never did that.
You definitely did say that. I remember that. But can we both also agree that Shamea is putting a little sauce on the way she's relaying the story to Porsha?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Like, she don't never really tell the story quite the way it went. She creates this juicy, version to tell the other person, and then it causes mess.
Yeah, and I think that's because of her personality. I think it's that bubbly and I think she try to tell what happened, but in a fun way that's digestible. And it just don't land right how it should be landing for her, and it come off that she's exaggerating the truth. But
Mm-hmm.
still, I say, had Drew never opened her mouth and made that comment, they wouldn't even have this type of bandwidth to have against her.
How about Porsha trying to being messy, talking about Dennis sent her these texts allegedly from Drew, like she wanted to F him, and he said,
Right.
just run me my money.
What?
So she's bringing this to the table to Ralph and Shamea. And then at the same time, she's trying to play devil's advocate and saying, like, but who knows if it's true? You know,
Right,
they got
'cause you
stuff
know
out
they
there
ain't.
about you. Is
Yeah.
all of the things about you out there true? Like
Right.
Porsha, you're not smarter than the viewers. Like, we see what you're trying to
We
do,
see, right.
and it's not working.
Right, and it goes back to what I was saying last week. Porsha talks around the truth to try to make it sound a certain way, to make her look a certain way. And again, she looks foolish. Like, girl, if you was gonna back it up with who knows if it's true? Like, why even say it if you don't know for yourself that it's true? I do not think Dennis told her that. That's just me personally. Because Dennis knows like this stuff is gonna be on screen. So if he have a working relationship with Drew, which I'm assuming at this point by now that they don't, like he has to know like that's going to come back up.
Right.
Yeah.
Furthermore, I don't know, but the first thing my mind went to is, where's the receipt?
I want to see the receipts.
Because we know Bravo will pop up a text message on the screen.
Okay,
You know what I mean? When
okay.
there's a receipt.
Right.
So
right.
where was this message from Dennis that she supposedly had?
Chat in her notes.
Right. Something she wrote.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't understand that. Then not Ralph talking about she had an affair with Ty. Why did I forget all about Ty?
What the streets are saying is that she's dating Ty, the basketball player Mimi's ex.
I did too, because Drew's forgettable.
That is funny.
That's just the bottom line.
Leave my girl alone. I forgot all about Ty. And then so when they got around to asking Ralph had he ever, child, them eyes got the rolling left to right. Child, do y'all know that boy ain't finna say nothing incriminating him with this court case going on?
Meanwhile, all the while, Ralph worried about this check they running up. Because, baby, them girls was eating, okay?
Okay, now he told him to give them some shots, baby. Portia like, because I know
She
me.
said, perhaps not. You know, they was doing those jokes from white chicks.
Perhaps a salad?
Perhaps not.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Yeah, baby. Portia was like, no shots today, but baby, they was running that tab up.
Yeah, but I don't know. It don't look good for Shamea. It definitely don't look good for Porsha at all.
Oh, but friend, let's talk about how the scene ended with Porsha and Shamea fighting each other. Did you catch that?
They did kind of start to...
Yeah, they had a tiff with each other, and then Porsha was like, damn, I forgot you was even here, Ralph. But basically, Porsha sounded like she was taking up for Angela. About Angela pretty much saying that Shamea should be able to hold people accountable, her friends accountable, when they say certain things. And I was like, well, hold on now. This sounds real weird to me.
Getting weird.
Yeah, it's clear to see that Porsha just doesn't have like that same loyalty to Shamea that she has to her. Like, it's Shamea's second nature to just protect Porsha and have her back regardless of what's being said. And Porsha don't feel that same way about her. And personally, I think a big part of it just stems from fact that she's on the show. Quite frankly.
That's what it's giving. The people saying, you know what? And I guess once we get to Porsha's party, like, I'm so tired of them breaking the fourth wall, because to me, it break down it just continue to break down the show for me, like the authenticity of the show. Like, the more y'all keep bringing up, well, I asked you about this person filming and who I wanted to be on the show, and like, why are y'all having this conversation in front of the camera and production? Why are y'all even including that in the rap? Like, y'all should be like, okay, now we can't really talk about this because this breaks the fourth wall, and that's just happening a little bit too much for me this season.
However, I do think in this instance it was important because it truly shows the issue like within their relationship. It shows that Porsha low-key has an issue with her being on the show. I mean, and then it reveals a lot about Porsha and how she really feels about this girl, because why would you not want your friend to win or have that opportunity, you know, on the table for her?
How many of us have them?
Listen.
All right, friend, let's get into what went down this week. So the show started off with Kelli and her girls. I don't think there's much to talk about there, but I will say I do enjoy watching Kelli with her girls. And baby, let me tell you, her daughter Chance, baby, she don't play around with them. You hear me? She like, y'all here for these cameras. I ain't even trying to do all that with them. I love how Chance don't be playing with them girls.
The only thing I got on that was when one of the daughters said that Kelli couldn't cook.
And
Yes. And you know who it was? Chance. Chance said, baby, y'all can put on for this camera if y'all want to, baby. She can't cook.
Not your mama got a whole restaurant and you telling the world she can't cook. And you know what the people said about the food now.
Friend, what they say?
Child, they said it wasn't good.
Hilarious.
And the daughter co-signed it. If anybody knows, she know.
Child, friend, that shit. Oh, not that shit, but that was so funny to me when she said she can't cook like that.
That was hilarious.
So then, friend, Angela met up with Kelli at her investment property. What did you think about that scene?
I like that scene because I was like, I like that Angela's being that boss girl, you know, boss chick. Like, let me just bring y'all over to one of my investment properties. You know, I was here for that.
Need to be selling.
She ain't gonna sell it in this market, baby.
Okay.
But let me tell you, she in over her head. But that pool, mama, we got to talk about that pool. That house ain't ready for the market, not looking like that.
Definitely.
At that price point, who's gonna pay $3 million for a closet that size? It's given the house is overpriced. You put too much money into it, and you're not gonna get it back out.
Not right now.
And
Definitely
then Kelli,
not right now.
Kelli was trying to throw a little shade on the house, though. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh,
and today's saying is throwing shade.
She
talking
was
about the ceilings were low, and so now we see why she was throwing shade, because she used to live in a big house, you know, when she was married. Apparently,
but baby, and not only was she throwing it, Angela was throwing it, because Angela said, "Girl, I know you got 3 walls, but don't you want a 4th one?"
Listen, I did not miss it.
Read, okay.
I said, Angela, you better read.
Look, she said, "Girl, I know you need a home.
Put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey." Ooh, Lord.
Come on, put an offer in." But yeah, that closet was, child, that was a no. Now, finally, Angela cleared up the baby rumor, which basically she said that's not Charles. That was her daughter's father that had the baby during their marriage or whatever. And she cleared that up with her. And Kelli apologized about the comment she made last week, which I thought was really big of her. And I think that's also why Kelli finally have grown on me, because, you know, in the beginning, I was not checking for Kelli. But I do like Kelli that she's okay with being accountable. And she's loud, yes. I love her fashion. But I do love that she can be accountable. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, I shouldn't have did that. That was fucked up.
Yeah. What it was giving me was everybody seeing the way Angela got Brit together. And it was like everybody wanted to have a sit down with Angela and like make amends. Like, girl, I'm sorry. Like, let me clean this up, because Angela will get the girls together and they don't want no parts. It's like they throwing in the flag.
They don't want no problem. And so She also brought up that the issue about Shamea confiding into no, what Angela was telling Kelli about Shamea confiding in her about her relationship with Porsha. Now, what I didn't like, why Kelli talking about she was like, Angela should just mind her business. Like, girl, what?
Yeah, I'm like,
Now,
what do you
all
mean
these
she should
past
just
weeks,
mind
like,
her
y'all ain't
business?
nobody minding their business.
Mind you, every scene Angela in talking about the situation, Kelli sitting next to her kikiing. But Angela should mind her business?
Do you hear me?
Okay.
Like, Shal, you just don't like it now because it's on another one of your friends' front row at this point.
But anywho, what we got up next? Brit.
Next, yeah.
Brit, she had her talk with her husband. Now, my takeaway from this was I stand corrected from last week's episode where I said she was adopted. Because without her makeup, baby girl looks like her mom.
Friends, one person in the comments said, y'all stop playing. That girl look like her mama.
Oh, she was absolutely right.
Friends, she looked more like the mama this week without the makeup.
She looked more like the mama this week without the makeup. You know, she's just a little lighter and, you know, she got, you know, the work and the fillers, but she is her mother's child.
Okay. Friend said she looked more like it this week. But friend, what I took away from this scene is there's a recurring theme with Brit that nobody is accountable to themselves but her. So this week her sister is not accountable. This person is accountable. And normally you are the common denominator in all these issues of nobody being accountable, and you the only one carrying this same story about people not being accountable.
I don't like her scenes with her husband. They just rub me the wrong way. I don't believe them. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just irked my spirit. Just their scenes together.
And I don't like
unnecessary.
Yeah, and I don't like that he get in the mix of her stuff. So what I remember last week I was saying about Charles, I was like, what I like about Charles is like he's not gonna hold Angela up just because Angela say something. And it may be fly at the mouth, may be cute for the fans, but he gonna be like, no, it ain't right. Her husband be getting mixed like, well, why would she say that? You know, like, child, come on, Mike, don't do that. Just
he's trying to you know, be involved and just support and film for her, but like it's a way to do it, you know, and it's like it's not given for him.
Right.
So it's like I would much rather just like not even see him walk around that kitchen built like a Idaho potato.
It's not even giving what y'all said it was supposed to give.
She said they walk around butt ass Nick.
Child, I would hate to see it.
Yeah, I don't think he'd do her any favors doing that because, you know, when you got somebody not telling you when you're wrong, like you go into these situations thinking you right, and clearly that's why you get ate up every time because you're the one that's not holding yourself accountable about anything.
And she certainly don't need nobody adding to her delusion. Because that's all he's doing.
Delulu. Okay, friend. Then next, we moving on. You had something.
We moving on now. We moving on.
Okay, so next, really, this probably was the best scene the whole show for me was Angela and Porsha's meetup. First of all, Angela saying, "Look, you done said you gonna fuck my husband. Oh, baby, you definitely not coming to the house." We're gonna go over here to the investment property that I need to sell and play tennis real quick.
Yes. But what you got to say about this scene? Because I know you was definitely here for this part.
Yeah, well, here's the first thing. I think first, the banter that they had in the confessionals when they both was being shady about each other, I think was so good. Like, to me, like, this is the kind of messy stuff you want with Housewives. Like, yeah, we don't really fool with each other, but we can be light, but we can still get along, have a little moment together, and still say our shade each other and rise above it and keep it moving. But I think their shade to each other in those confessionals, bitch, was so good to me.
I definitely enjoyed this scene for sure. I was surprised that it came so quick after the issue they had together. I'm like, oh, they already, you know, meeting up with each other, you know.
What you just said.
But like I said, the girls
got to clean it up.
They trying to get in her good graces now. Don't nobody want that smoke. Okay. They don't want that smoke with
Right.
Angela.
Angela.
They don't want
Um,
it, friend.
But yeah, what I didn't like in this scene was Porsha trying to spread that narrative, talking about Drew and what she might have texted allegedly to Dennis about wanting to F her. And I'm like, now you're spreading it to Angela. Like, again, we still ain't seen no receipt.
The truth is the numbers speak for themselves. What?
Like,
What Angela
where's
say? Okay, Angela, not booty for beats.
booty for beats? Angela always got some shade, right?
She got a quick little one-liner.
But
Now, friend, now they brought up the issue with Shamea. Now, why Porsha started crying? Because her friend don't want to be her lap dog no more. And she cried.
I don't believe that cry. That was so phony to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Angela just talking, and then all of a sudden it was like, fan
Okay.
my face, like,
And scene. Do you hear me?
fan in your face. Why? Because you ain't got no tears coming down?
Friend, that was a whole drama. It was drama.
Her only goal in that moment was to make sure that, essentially, that I'm not wrong, Shamea is, and I'm a victim here. So pull the sympathy card, right?
Instead of, I feel like she really should have talked about their relationship, but clearly she shut it down. And baby, she only shut it down for one reason, that maybe what everybody's saying about it is between her and Shamea is true. The type of friend she is.
There's definitely something there with their friendship, and you mentioned it last show about supposedly Shamea hooking Porsha up with a married man in the past. The married man was Simon.
I told you what the streets were saying.
There's a receipt of Shamea leaving a comment on Simon and Porsha's photo like a while back, and Porsha responded and said, "Best matchmaker ever." Talking about Shamea.
Friend,
So
you got the receipt to put it up in here.
I surely do.
Do you want me to bring the receipts?
Right here. Boom. Yeah. Pull it up right there, because it had came, that little birdie had flew right here. I said, oh, okay. Well, yep, it's the word on the street, child.
But so this part got interesting to me though, because they start talking about the whole show thing, and she said that she had Shamea on the list that she would be good on the show, but her husband didn't film. So again, it's like I'm throwing the rock, but then I'm gonna hide my hand, because it's like, well, she's good for the show, but and now I did say about Shamea before that her husband should be filming. So like, I don't disagree with Porsha in that sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But what I do disagree with is, if this is supposed to be your best friend, why even throw some salt in her game, in her possibility of getting on the show? Just say, I want her on the show, or I don't want her on the show. You know,
Yeah,
and stand 10 toes down in what you say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Porsha is right. I do think she's right in saying that, you know, you're going to want your husband to be involved as well, too, in order for you to be successful. Because I do think that's kind of where the momentum has failed with Shamea, is because we started the season getting all of that. Like, they built up Shamea like Shamea was going to give us what Angela is giving us. Honestly, that's what they built that up to be. And so she's not. So I agree with Porsha, but I also agree with you saying that that's a conversation for the sidebar. Now, look, I ain't going to say this to them, but I'm letting you know this is going to be more of a benefit for you on this show. And yeah, she probably never should have said that to production. And again, I feel like these are not conversations we should be hearing on the show. Because again, I think it just takes away the authenticity of the actual show and it being believable, even though we know it's heavily produced. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
Even though we know it's heavily edited. But I think saying those things that is actually going on behind the scenes as it relates to the show, it just takes away a element from the show to me, for sure.
Well, another reason why Porsha, like I said, I do agree her husband should be filming, but who is Porsha to talk? because your husband exited stage left before the cameras even got rolling.
Now take that to the bank and cash that damn check.
That's why she brought her back up.
Hello. So how can you say anything about Shamea's husband's not filming when yours is in an ICE detention center somewhere?
Well, maybe at the time that wasn't the case. Maybe at the time, Big Papa Bear was still in the mix then. So Porsha thought she was running the show.
She thought she was running the show.
Came crumbling down.
Until Karma showed her otherwise.
Ooh.
Period.
Ooh, baby. And got her right together. You hear me, friend?
Right together.
All right, friend, you move on. Let's go. Because
let's go.
This scene all night. Now, the next scene, child, was Drew.
Was Drew's therapy session.
It was Drew's therapy. And you know what? if you go in on Drew, I'm going to let you go in on Drew. Oh. But I'm going to be light on Drew because a couple people last week made some good, what would be the right word? They made a good case for Drew. And in the comments, they were saying like, nobody's really asking Drew like how she's really doing. Obviously, she's going through a divorce, a nasty divorce. And so I can imagine what that means outside of the camera. And then, of course, when it comes to the camera. So a lot of people's like, just give her a little grace. The girl going through a lot. She probably don't feel like she have the support system that she need amongst the group. So I get that, so I'm going to go easy on her, but I still say, like, she should have just took a break this season to go handle her shit and then came back. But go on, bitch, because I know you finna read her ass for Phil.
No. I finna read Drew. I finna read Drew today. Now, you brought up the nasty divorce, and now I do have some tea and some receipts on that, but we're going to talk about that a little later.
Another time.
We're going to talk about it another time. But in regards to this scene tonight for Drew, it was my bathroom break. And we can go into the next scene, which was Pampered by Porsha. So let's get into it.
Friend, you went to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom.
Not you went to the bathroom, friend.
I'm just being real.
Friend said you go to the bathroom.
Went and got me a little something to drink.
It didn't give much. But in this scene, I will say, the girl Angela was working overtime. Do you hear me? When she was playing Bone Collector about who said what, they was going back from scene to scene to scene. Angela laying all out on the same. I saw, baby, Angela is working. You hear me?
Angela knows exactly what she's doing.
Angela
Angela was made for this.
Yes.
Is what we're seeing right now.
Yes,
like, this is absolutely. A rookie, like, out the gate, and she already know what to do.
Yes, absolutely. All right, friend, let's go on to the final scene was Porsha's Pampered event. Pampered by Porsha. The event was really cute. I thought the event was very cute. Yeah.
It was. It actually reminded me of Nene's couple pajama thing. The way Porsha was parenting back and forth, kind of like how Nene was. Like, I just want the girls to know I'm running shit. She definitely took a page from Nene.
And good old Nene was right once again.
Yeah, what she say? You look cute. You don't.
But let me tell you though, Miss Porsha, she looked good.
Baby.
Head to toe.
Baby, when she sat on that floor and that little pussy pocket got the poking, I said, oh, okay.
Head to toe.
Yeah, Porsha looked good.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, Drew number, baby, I was like, Drew, no ma'am, baby. That's what the gays were. She had on them the straps that the gays were.
You know, Drew don't never know what to do.
Oh my God. Kelli had that thong on, baby.
Kudos to Kelli for the confidence, because she got up off the floor with that bare ass and ran over to Shamea. She didn't care if her ass looked like a pancake or not. Like, you know, she was confident.
But also, friends, speaking of Portia's pink look, that cat suit.
Bitch, I got on a cat suit. Nobody say shit to me.
In her confessional during this scene with the little up hair, she looked good. Porsha looked good in that pink situation.
Oh yeah, Portia's gonna bring it. You know that we ain't gonna take away from her. Mm-hmm. You know.
Now, friends, so Drew brought this up. Do you think Porsha was trying to use the girls to to be ambassadors for her sheets.
For her sheets.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw this party and it's glamorous and it's fabulous and it's cute, but at the same time, we're doing like photos, and then I'm gonna use the photos. Like, you're using them as models technically, so it's like you need to either disclose that ahead of time, you know, so we can talk money, or let us know that it's not a paid thing, you know, so we understand the assignment. But Drew laid me out talking about all the money she done made. Go naked hair. Like, girl, if you don't sit down, not the way these streets talking about, you don't even pay your stylist.
Look, Drew said she need a check.
No, she ain't bringing no business in like that now. She
So
ain't
wait a
even
minute,
that girl.
friend. Back up to when Brit and Kelli made it there, and the guy asked them that they want a double fist, baby. They lit up. Like,
They did. They was both like, oh, what? And then they're doing this like, well, what we talk about? Well, what? Huh? What? Like, y'all
about?
Like, no, he talking about a drink. What the hell are y'all talking about?
Hey, baby, they was down. Well, you know Brit was down for it, baby.
And Brit was all into it. Like, she ain't got no man at home. Or do she?
Or do she? You took
That's a read.
the words right out of my mouth. Okay, friends. So that scene was cute, and obviously the judge came at the end when Kelli pulled Shamea to the side to talk about what's been going on, discussions about her and Porsha's relationship. And baby, in the meditation, Shamea was not having it.
She was not here for that at all. She was so bothered. But I wanted to say kudos to Kelli for like stepping up. You know what I mean? I felt like, okay, you're involved. You're like in the mix. You're a part of the story, and you're pushing the story forward. So like, kudos to her in that moment for like going up to Shamea and getting her to like open up. But it was like, once she opened up, she opened up.
Yeah, and not only then, friend, but also when they had the sister circle, she said, Shamea and Porsha, let's have a conversation. And so she started to talk between them. To me, it felt like they went back and forth by like, they had issues, but then it was like everybody else creating the issue outside. And it was just like a toss, like, yeah, y'all relationship fucked up. Y'all just don't want to be honest about what it really is.
So how about your auntie Cynthia talking about she don't like when the group split up friendships? I'm like, girl, this friendship been jacked up. Like, this ain't nothing to do because of the group.
High school stuff. I just can't.
I just feel like being loyal. Like you said, you spoke to loyalty.
You are loyal, but you have not been given the same courtesy. Why is Shamea so ferociously loyal to someone that's never been loyal to her? Lapdog.
The group ain't do this. She have such a hard time just saying what it is when it comes to Porsha.
Right. Yeah, and Cynthia knows that. Cynthia knows this ain't her first rodeo with Porsha and Shamea. She knows that.
And also, this was my first time hearing that she didn't go to the wedding because they weren't talking at the time. Because that's certainly not what she said back then when it aired on the show. Her reason for not going to this wedding.
Shamea said that's news to her too.
You're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in the wedding. Figure that out.
Porsha has dogged Shamea out, treated her like and now she doesn't even want to go to the girls' wedding. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend?
Listen, it was news to us all who watch and following, because Porsha got to figure out which story she want to tell and stick with it.
Child. And why is Lauren leading the meditation? Like,
that's what I was wondering. I'm like,
messy with Porsha, and you are health wellness.
Child, now you a yoga instructor.
It's a no.
Porsha's sidekick, her assistant, the sheets folder, house.
It was just not believable. That was not believable to see Lauren up there like that.
No. I wasn't buying that at all. It was giving Phaedra as the Reiki doctor on Married to Medicine suddenly, right?
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome. Like Reiki, what is that?
Come on, Phaedra, the Reiki doctor. Child, I got a friend that do Reiki, child.
Oh, really?
I'm scared to do it. I said, bitch, you ain't putting that shit on me. I'm scared.
Try to let me know how it is.
Friend said, try to let him know how it is. Okay, I might. Well,
Right.
friend, that was the show. So let's move on to our 2 takes in 2 minutes. Who first this week? Is it me or you?
You first this week. And I got my timer up.
Okay.
And you ready, friend?
Child, let's roll with it.
All right, starting now.
All right, for my take this week, Shamea. Now, in this episode, Shamea, I feel like we kind of saw a little metamorphosis with you. Because you started out terrible. Like, I don't know what made you thought it was going to be a good idea for you to go meet up with Ralph. And then weren't you just last week talking about with Angela that this ain't your fight, so why you got to do? Now you done picked up this week, picking up Porsha's fight. Girl, you got to pick a side. And then you saw how that ended out for you because your friend that you riding for like that really ain't riding for you. And the metamorphosis is at the end of the episode when your blinders finally came up and you understand who you working with. So Shamea, again, I think this is exactly what Angela was saying last week, that people will expect from you to move a little different. And you proven, as long as you sit on Porsha's lap, as long as you stay on that lap, and I see you getting up, but as long as you sit there, it's going to be your downfall, friend.
I know that's right.
Talking about this ain't her fight. Girl, what choose when you ain't going to fight then?
Right.
All
Listen,
right.
You done got me going, look, I'm ready to tag me in on her ass too.
I tag. All right, friend, you ready? Starting now.
All right, Shamea, this is not going to fare well for you at all. You got to stop trying to fight Porsha's battles. I know y'all kikiing together on the side and pulling shit together. This whole sit down with Ralph, it doesn't look good. It's not becoming of you. Porsha is becoming the villain this season, and because you want to be her sidekick, you about to be the villain's sidekick. So you got to either decide whether you want to be everybody's friend in the face of Atlanta, or you want to be Porsha's flunky. At this point, you're in the wrong place. You finally are starting to wake up to the fact that Porsha don't see it for y'all the same way you see it for y'all. So you either got to decide whether you're going to ride with her or you're going to ride with the other girls in the group, because it looked like she barely even wanted you on the show in the first place.
Time, friend. Ooh, now Shamea caught that work this week.
Listen, right? Look how things change.
Oh, how things change. Oh, Shamea caught that work this week. Shamea, girl. But you know what? I said this earlier. If she wake up and understand that Porsha, her issue with Porsha is what's going to help her elevate on the show. Now, once she let Porsha go, she going to elevate on the show. All right, friend, you know this is our favorite part. This is our social media roundup. We love to hear what the people got to say. What they saying out there, friend?
All right, so Nick Nuka said, Shamea gives nada, zilch, zip. She got access to the money, the square footage, the ability to have a better wardrobe, but instead, we get the goofy sidekick. It's giving Screech from Saved by the Bell with a little bit of go home, Roger.
Come on, Screech.
Or Reed. I mean, Screech and Roger kept pot straight. Coco23 said, is Kelli giving us her real lifestyle, or is she putting on for the cameras?
And baby Chance was trying to put us in.
I certainly have those same thoughts myself when it comes to Kelli. But I think more will be revealed as we go. Just Jess OK said, I love Porsha. Why can't people comprehend? Porsha said that in a joking manner in response to Angela asking her on her birthday trip about taking that lady's man.
No comment. This girl, what?
Because people think that we just hate Porsha, but we hold our feet to the fire based on what we're watching. We don't dislike Porsha. It just is what it is. Right. And the last time I checked, I have yet to hear Porsha say I was just joking. Have you heard her say that?
Nope.
Okay. Diana said Shamina can come back as a friend of the show, since that's what she really is bringing. See, Shamea, you starting to click down with the people. You better get it. You better get from behind Porsha
quick, because Porsha's gonna be her downfall.
Get out of the shadow of Porsha's ass. It's blocking your light, baby girl.
Wow. Well, it looked like, Fred, we weren't the only one that saw the smoke on the mirrors with Shamea. Hopefully, finally at this point she's waking up to that, and we'll see that play out the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what's gonna be the smoking gun as we go forward into the season. This Shamea versus Porsha. I'm definitely ready to see that play out, because Shamea's starting to talk now in the radio interviews and the blogs, so it's definitely getting juicy.
Child, well, let's wait and see. Y'all, we appreciate y'all so much for tuning in each week. If you have not, please subscribe, share, baby, read in the comments. Y'all be so live every week, and we enjoy being able to connect with y'all. And so listen, until next time, y'all already know, we'll holler. Peace.
Peace.